Hi, I'm John Cooke, and welcome to Inside Indies. Today we're going to be discussing the casting process with casting specialist Gerardo Maravilla from Backstage. Hi, Gerardo. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you too.
So I got a few questions for you today.
Sure.
My first question is, how does a casting director collaborate with filmmakers to bring their vision to life?
Yeah, I think that casting director filmmaker collaboration is one of the most important aspects of making sure that you get the right actors for the project. It's like learning, what they're really looking for in each particular role, helping them come up with the right character breakdowns to concisely summarize what it is that they're looking for, putting out the casting calls, really helping them organize the audition process, and then, going on to callbacks and chemistry reads. It becomes really instrumental in finding the right actors and making sure that they can bring the filmmaker's vision to life.
Seems like a pretty important part of the
Yeah, very much so, yes.
So what role does Backstage play in the casting process for a film, specifically when you're trying to discover new talent?
Yeah, I think if you're looking to discover new talent, Backstage can be a great resource because there's, we have a database of over 300,000 performers all throughout the world, actually, at this point. And so there's a lot of folks that, depending on which region you're shooting in, may not be at the point in their career necessarily where they have an agent or, have enough credits necessarily, but they're still working actors. Maybe they have a lot of theater experience. They have a solid resume. And so they'll be able to see your casting notice and then submit themselves for the job, to be able to audition for you so that you can kind of see what they're capable of and giving some new folks opportunities that might not have otherwise had it.
At the beginning of the process, do casting directors sometimes say, hey, we're looking for a familiar face, or hey, we're looking for new talent?
Yeah, I think that if they're coming to Backstage, I think in a traditional casting environment, if they have a talent that they already know that they want, they may go through the more traditional process of reaching out to that actor's agent, or going through a talent agency itself. But if they're more open or looking for different folks, I think that Backstage would be a great place to come to as well. And we also have a lot of casting directors, major casting directors from big shows and movies and stuff. We use Backstage also for background work as well too. You have to fill out a party scene or a wedding or something like that. And it can just be a really easy resource to find a lot of talent quickly for where you're shooting.
Great. Yeah, people forget about all the background and everybody in every shot is true.
Yep, everything in the script. I mean, that's another thing casting directors can help with is breaking down the script and figuring out how many people are going to be needed in each scene and how many roles they're going to have to cast for.
I was in the background in a few things, but a long time ago. So how can people stay up to date on the latest industry trends in talent and casting?
Yeah, I think, always keeping up with the trades is really important, as well as the Backstage. We have a magazine that we also publish those articles online. There's a lot of great updates and things like that to be able to check out as well. And it can also be as simple as just looking at who is in the movies that you enjoy, who's in the TV shows that you enjoy. I think that's what casting directors often do, or filmmakers, is that they'll watch stuff and almost keep like an internal Rolodex of like, I really like that performer. I'm going to try to remember them, for the next thing that I need, or if I need someone who fits this type.
Great. Does social media influence the casting process for a filmmaker looking to put a recognizable face in their movie?
Yeah, it absolutely can. I think there's a couple of ways you could think about it. I mean, you can look for talent that's on social media that has a large following already, that maybe is directly engaged with their audience, which means that if you cast them in something, there's already going to be a group of people interested in what they're doing. It also can help break down the barrier of being able to reach out to certain performers. You may see someone on a show or a movie that you're interested in, and you can reach out to them on social media directly, maybe kind of circumvent some of the agency process if you have something that you think they would be perfect for.
Right. Yeah, it's a whole different world with social media.
Yeah.
A lot closer contact with fans and the industry in general. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's relevant, but for like a short film that I did, I really liked this one TV show, Snowfall, and I saw an actress in that show, and I just reached out to her, and she ended up being in my short, and it was just that way of reaching out directly. So
yeah, it's great.
It'd be really helpful.
And so when working with Backstage, what tools do filmmakers get for finding the best talent?
Oh yeah, on Backstage you can you can post your notice and be regional, like specific. You can look for both union and non-union talent. There's a lot of filtering tools in case you're looking for somebody who's looks a specific way. Maybe you're telling a culturally specific story and you want to have someone from that background as well. You can utilize Backstage to schedule your auditions. You can even ask actors to submit self-tapes. You can hold virtual auditions on Backstage that are all held entirely on the platform. You don't need additional software. And it's also really helpful that Backstage can help you kind of create the schedule for your auditions as well too. And so much of filmmaking ends up being logistical. And it's great to have tools, technical tools that'll kind of like handle the heavy lifting on that part.
It seems like with the advent of all these tools, it's definitely opened the field up to way more people and access to more actors to be able to audition for things because they can do it from anywhere.
Yeah, I would even say like even the types of things like cast on Backstage has opened up a lot. There's of course film and television. There's also theater, but there's also this burgeoning market of user generated content, which is like kind of the ads you see on your social media page that look like real people, but those often have production teams behind it and casting directors behind it. And so they'll post casting notices for that kind of stuff on Backstage.
You used to have to come to town every spring, come for pilot season and live in the apartments over in Burbank.
Yeah, now pilot season's year round.
Physically be here, but now you can be anywhere.
Yep.
Gerardo, thanks for coming in. It was great meeting you. I appreciate it. And that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you.